One of the biggest changes in the world of business and technology has nothing to do with speed or power. It actually boils down to a really simple question. Should you own your digital infrastructure, or should you just operate it? We're going to dive into that fundamental shift and what it means for, well, pretty much everyone.
So let me start by asking you a question that used to give IT directors nightmares. How much computing power is your business actually going to need next year? For the longest time, this was the central high-stakes question you absolutely had to get right.
And it really was a gamble, a total shot in the dark. If you guess too high, you've just spent a fortune on powerful servers and expensive hardware that are just sitting there, collecting dust. That's cash, just gone. But if you guess too low, well, your website crashes during a big sale, your app's slow to a crawl, and you're left with angry users and lost sales. It felt like a game you just couldn't win.
All right, to understand the solution to this puzzle, we first need to get our heads around two core financial ideas that are at the heart of this whole thing: capital versus operational costs.
First up is what we call capital expenditure, or CapEx for short. Now, think of this as the classic, traditional way of doing things. It's the big, one-time, upfront investment you make in physical stuff, things you own. Buying a building, purchasing a fleet of servers, constructing your very own data center. You buy it, you own it, and it's your problem to maintain.
And then, on the other side of the coin, you've got operational expenditure, or OpEx. This is a completely different mindset. These are your ongoing, recurring costs for services you use. Think about your Netflix subscription, your office rent, or your monthly electricity bill. You're not buying the power plant, you're just paying for the electricity you use.
So let's break it down. With CapEx, the cost is all up front. And at the end of the day, you own the asset. It's an investment model. But with OpEx, the costs are ongoing and you're simply using a service. It's a consumption model. And that shift right there, from investment to consumption, well, that changes everything.
Because that shift to consumption is exactly what the cloud brought to the table. It introduced a completely new model for how businesses use technology. And here it is, the breakthrough idea. Cloud computing takes that massive, risky capital expense of building and owning your own tech infrastructure, and it turns it into a predictable, manageable operational expense. You stop being a buyer of hardware, and you just become a consumer of a service.
This whole thing is built on what's called the consumption-based model. And it is beautifully simple. You pay only for the IT resources you actually use precisely when you use them. No more, no less. If you need a server for an hour, you pay for 1 hour. When you shut it down, you stop paying. It's that simple.
So, why is this pay-as-you-go approach such an absolute game changer? Let's unpack the real-world advantages, because this is where it gets really interesting.
The benefits are just huge. Right off the bat, there are no massive, scary upfront costs. Then, you get the power to grow or shrink on a dime. That's instant scalability. This gives you incredible flexibility to perfectly match your resources to what you actually need, which leads to this huge boost in operational efficiency, because you're no longer paying for a bunch of power you're not even using.
Now, of all those benefits, let's just zoom in on scalability for a second. This is arguably the most powerful advantage of them all. It's the ability to perfectly match your computing power to your real-time customer demand. Just think about it. During a massive sales event like Black Friday, your web traffic explodes. In the cloud, your resources and your costs automatically scale up to handle it all smoothly. But then, on a quiet Tuesday afternoon when traffic is low, everything automatically scales back down, and your costs drop right along with it. You are never, ever paying for more than you need at that exact moment.
So let's just put it all together, the before and after. The old way meant making a wild guess about the future, risking either wasted money or terrible performance. The new way, the cloud way, means you can instantly add or remove resources in minutes, guaranteeing you only ever pay for what you actually use. The gamble is just gone.
You see, this isn't just a technical change. It's a fundamental shift in the whole business mindset. It's about renting computing power instead of trying to own the entire power plant.
I mean, that's really what it boils down to. You're basically just renting a slice of a massive, state-of-the-art, professionally managed data center. When you need more, you rent more. When you're done, you give it back, and you only get a bill for the time you used it.
And maybe the most important part of all is this. The cloud provider, they handle all the hard stuff. The security, the cooling, the electricity bills, what happens when a hard drive fails, all of it.
This frees up your team's time, their money, and their brain power to focus on what truly matters, building amazing products and solutions for your users.
So let's end with this thought. Now that the immense challenge of building and maintaining a data center is completely off your plate, what will you build instead? When you stop building the factory, you can finally focus on what you're going to make inside it. And the possibilities there, well, they're pretty exciting to think about.